Derek Stingley Jr. of the Houston Texans signed for $30 million a year. This comes a few days after J.C. Horn of the Carolina Panthers signed for $25 million a year. There was a convo about maybe the DB market being down. Now we're seeing $89 million guaranteed over 3 years for an absolute stallion in Derek Stingley Jr. Ball Hawk joining us now. Everything DB, good D, bad D host, Darius J. Butler. The DB's getting paid. J.C. Horn, $25 million a year less than a week ago. Now, Derek Stingley Jr. getting $30 million a year, $89 million guaranteed. Why do you think Derek Stingley was the guy to take this big jump in the pay for DBs? And how do you feel about the deals that are kind of unfolding now?
First of all, talk about good dadding. All these guys, football is in their blood. You're talking about second, third, even fourth generation with Stingley. His grandpappy or great-grandpappy was a New England Patriot. All SEC guys, all first rounders, all guys living up to their billing. But Derek Stingley Jr., he's a little different. Even as talented as that LSU 2019 team was, a lot of people that you talk to in that building around that program said that this is the guy. This is probably the best guy on the roster. And he's lived up to it. Outside of injuries that kind of plagued him throughout his college career and then early on in his NFL career, but he's been healthy. He hit his stride last year, been a first-team All-Pro. 5 interceptions, played all 17 games. He could do everything. He could play off. He could play man. You can leave him on an island. He can come up and tackle. But his ball skills, I think, separate him from the pack. Patrick Surtain Jr., Defensive Player of the Year, phenomenal technician, can do everything as well. J.C. Horn, once again, another guy who, if he stays healthy, he'll continue to be one of the best DBs in the league. But Derek Stingley Jr., him and Patrick Surtain right there, 1A, 1B as far as best cornerbacks in the league go.
Okay, so we looked up the numbers. Jalen Ramsey, I think, has the third highest average per year. In Jalen, though, we've seen him doing this a long time. You know, we've seen him in Jacksonville. We've seen him in Jacksonville, L.A. Now he's in Miami, obviously. That's a very long, great career. We would say that the next generation of DBs, corners, we're in a very good spot.
Yeah, we are in a great spot right now. The Quinyon Mitchell of the world, even Cooper DeJean, we'll see what he does to that slot market in the
future. Happy St. Patty's Day!
But leading the way for the exciting whites. But yeah, these guys, they're doing their thing. And it's still a wide gap. You just saw Jamar Chase get his bag. He's getting 40 plus a year. And now with Derek Stingley Jr. really completely resetting the cornerback market, getting $30 million a year. So it's still a wide gap there. But these guys are valuable, especially when you can travel, when you can follow that number one receiver to the left or to the right side of the defense with the guy we got All-Pro Mooney and Indy now who's going to be doing that, following number ones. That kind of changes the defense and gives the defensive coordinator a little bit more freedom when it comes to taking the other guys away around the field. But yeah, we're in a good spot right now. As long as that continues to trend north for those top cornerbacks, that's big time for the whole position group as a whole.
Highest paid corner, $30 million a year he's getting from the Houston Texans. This is obviously a massive signing for corners as a whole. We had D-Butt on in the first hour. He is currently at his daughter's volleyball tournament down in New Orleans. Good luck. Hey, let's go. Let's get some wins. He said that they run into some teams that got some high from different states, but they're going to battle just like this dude. Absolute stud. You know, D-Butt brought up how injuries early kind of slowed down, but then whenever he was 100% healthy, he's become exactly what they projected for him to become. Caserio didn't want to lose him. Caserio paid him a shit ton of money, and he becomes the third, I guess, multi-generational player to get broken off at the DB position. Surtain obviously gets paid a shit ton of money. J.C. Horn gets paid a shit ton of money. Now Derek Stingley Jr. gets paid a shit ton of money, and Jalen Ramsey rounds out like the top 4 in DB pay. How do you feel about the signing, AJ? And what were your thoughts immediately upon reading it? I was surprised with the number. I was very surprised that it was 30 a year, but I was incredibly pumped for Derek and his family.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're surprised by the number, but with this salary cap going up and the salary some of these dudes are getting, I'm not shocked by it. But D-Butt said it best. I mean, when you have a guy that can line up outside, he can follow the best receiver, and you can trust him, and you feel very, very good about that, it opens up your whole playbook as a defensive coordinator. So, yeah, I give him credit for getting this thing done. Who knows what a corner is going to get 2 years from now. So good for them and good for Derek Stingley Jr. If you can cover guys and you can rush the passer defensively, you are going to get paid. That is for sure.
Okay, so I don't want to, hypothesize too much because, I'm a dumbass, so why would I want to do that about what the future potentially looks like? But now that we're getting back to running a lot, being able to, on the outside is going to be vital. So we go back now to the Darrelle Revis type days, whenever people are just locking people down so you can commit more to the box, because it feels like the box is going to become more important with the prevalence of running coming back into football. So if you got a guy, I think you're going to keep a guy, and that means those prices should go. There's going to be a high end, and then there's going to be a young group. That's what there's going to be. I don't think there's going to be any more middle ground at corner, where they're going to move into safety or nickel or something like that. I think with how you're going to have to commit to the run game, and I might be talking completely out of pocket. I am a doofus. But with how you're going to have to commit to the run game, I think they're going to want to have guys that can ISO. I think that is going to be we either got a guy that can ISO and we're going to pay him, or we're looking for somebody that can do it. I think that's potentially the next step, AJ. You would know football better than me. Your early thoughts on my hypothesis.
I like that. And think about, just think defensively. If you were a coach and you know every team you play has whoever their number one receiver is an absolute monster. He's a complete stud. A lot of teams now have 2, sometimes 3 guys like that. So if you at least have one lockdown cover corner that you feel great about, that he can take their best player away or at least limit their explosives, it really opens up everything else you can do. And like you said, it is a cool time in the NFL that we are getting back to some physical downhill football when it really matters. And if you have a dude outside like that you feel good about, it just makes your job that much easier as a play caller.
Revis is literally just, all right, they were playing 10 on 9 or 10 on 8 or whatever, on that defense, because it was just Revis is going to do Revis, and then we all can now play football. That is a weapon, Like Rex Ryan obviously understood that. Bill Belichick obviously understood that. And I'm not saying that there's going to be just Darrelle Revis is falling out of trees, but it's like everybody's going to be looking for that now, especially with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's back.
Yeah. Because you'd be like, well, why would skill positions get paid? Well, because they need a counter so that we can send more meat and more men at these running backs that are fast, strong, and bigger than they've ever been in the past.
Yeah, and it's not just running backs now. Every single
QB,
quarterback can run.
Good call.
Like it was 10 on 9 when Revis was there, but it's 10 on 10 now. Every single QB is moving around, especially the young ones that are coming into the league. Like you saw what Jaden Daniels did. I'm not saying anybody else is going to be able to do, that, but just looking at the QBs that are, projected in the first round now, Shador, Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, when we pull up their highlights, they're running. They're moving around all over the place. So even that aspect of it makes you think okay, well, having those man guys on the outside, and then to AJ's point about him getting paid, he's going to be 24 in June. That's a 3-year extension. Think about when he's 28 being able to re-up again, and who knows where the league will be at then. It might already be turned back to throwing the ball all over the place.